I'm so ready to record that I am recording.
Me too. Sup nerds, it's basketball. Welcome to Horse, a basketball podcast about everything except for the wins and losses. My name is Mike Schubert, and I'm joined by my trusted co-host, the Draymond Green hitting Yusuf Nurkic in the face to Draymond Green getting indefinitely suspended. It's Adam Amawala. Adam, how's it going?
Yeah, he might be indefinitely suspended, but he definitely deserved that.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal.
Not great.
Hopefully he can get all that sorted out. So we'll see what the future holds for Draymond Green, but just not a great look this season. You can't choke a guy and then also hit a guy in the face really obviously and continue to expect that you're going to be able to play basketball on a regular basis.
Right.
Especially doing it on a national TV game, not a smart choice.
Yeah, questionable for sure. He didn't even, he apologized, but he also was like, I was trying to do that. I just wasn't trying to hit him in the face. He was like, I was trying to sell the call.
Right.
I just didn't intend to smack him in the face for no reason, which, I don't know.
The thing that I don't get, because playing sports, I've certainly done things where I have tried to sell a call. I've done things where I've gone for a thing and gone out of my way to whether that's foul a guy or do something. I've done not necessarily anything dirty, but I've done things where I'm like, oh, I can sell this in a way where it's not going to necessarily look like I just tried to take a guy out or something like that. If I'm going for a loose ball or whatever, I'll dive in a particular angle where I'm going for the ball, but I'm also going to hit his hand out of the way and then I'll get it and he won't. But I don't understand how these people don't realize that there's 800 cameras. There's no way that anything is going to be hidden ever. Same thing when people flop and they embellish. If you get hit and you embellish it, fine.
Right.
But when you don't get hit at all and you do the head jerk back thing, they're going to find out. People are going to find out.
Right. Yeah. You could have gotten away with stuff before the days of instant replay and or high definition cameras, but it's just not going to happen anymore. And I feel like this particular play, it was Chappelle Show, Rick James level, what did the five fingers say to the face? It was that level of slap, and it's really egregious. Now, naturally, that incident happened right after we had recorded our last episode, as is custom.
Oh, yeah.
Now, everyone knows about the horse curse, but I'm going to attempt to see if a horse jinx exists, because it is a running theme on this show that one of us or both of us will have to pause various times for sirens to go by. Now, usually you all don't hear this other than maybe at the beginning of an episode when we put it in as a joke. But I'm going to just put this out there. We've had an interesting evolution, right? There was a period of time where Mike lived in Manhattan. He was the siren boy. I was in Astoria. I was not that affected by sirens. Then we flip-flopped. I'm now in Harlem. I'm the siren boy. Mike is in the depths of Astoria, shrouded in some sort of closet extra room situation. And now I'm the problem. But for this episode, and you might hear a slight difference in my travel microphone, I am in New Paltz, which is nestled in the Hudson Valley, and it is very quiet here other than the brief whirring of a fridge behind me. Mike is also in Astoria, and I'm going to just say right now, this could be the episode that we don't stop for a siren. It'll be really funny if it happens, especially for me, but I just want to see if it's possible, and we'll report back at the end.
We'll see how it goes, but there are a lot of things to discuss in this episode, both from a full court press perspective and what we are doing for our special themed episode this time. So let's get into it. Let's prepare for it. And let's go to a place that also has no sirens, the Teal Memorial Locker Room. No sirens at all.
No, and they actually have good padded walls. They've got egg crates. They've got all sorts of stuff in there.
All good stuff. All good stuff. You know who else has good stuff going on?
Probably our producer level patrons, because some of the good stuff they have is being patrons of our podcast.
Yes, they get lots of bonus content. Shout out to our producer level patrons: Polly Burridge, Kendra Hadley, Salvatore Testa, Siobhan Ellsbury, Don't Go Chasing Taco Falls, Bang, Bang, Roast Beef Debris, How About Them World Champion Denver Steam Nuggets, Anna Reed, Steph Curry for 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year.
Bang! Happy New Year. I was pretty proud of that one.
That's pretty good. Hi, Trish, Nicole Shepard, Chase Underulo, Mr. Bubbles Plays Ball, Naked Rachel, who I did get to meet at a recent live show, and she gave me a wonderful gift. So shout out to Naked Rachel.
And I'm assuming she was clothed Rachel at that that show.
She was clothed,
Gotcha.
and I was able to sign her horse cash considerations jersey. So clothes were abound. Josh isn't rich. Sidney Crosby is a vampire. Chelsea's cousin, Ginger Spurs boy, who was also at a recent show, though we didn't get to cross paths because I was busy, and then he had to bounce right after the show ended. And balls to the walls.
Nice. Yeah. And for those of you who are patrons, you may see that I recently uploaded a 5-on-5 of Benny the Bull's antics. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure to take a peek at that.
Yes. And you know what else is something that people could take a peek at?
Probably the sheer amount of tabs I have open on my computer, which leads us right into our sponsor for today, Tab for a Cause. Mike, tell us about him.
Tab for a Cause is a wonderful organization where just by using the internet, you can raise money for charity. And we're all using the internet. You used it to listen to this episode. Mm-hmm. And you know what? You can channel that internet usage into good by going to tabforacause.org/horse. That's tabforacause.org/horse. Just a couple of clicks and boom, it is installed in your browser. And then every time you open a tab, you get a pretty picture, whether it's nature or architecture. And you can also add widgets and stuff. You might see some ads in the corner, but those ads raise money for charity. And then you pick what charities get supported. It's great. It's super simple. I've used it for years and I loved it. And you raise money for charity. Let's do our tab check because it is Tab for a Cause. I'm at 1 tab. How many tabs are you at?
Come on. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I have 21 tabs open on my main browser. I'm not going to get into the other browsers that I also have open, but I will share that I'm going to turn over a new leaf. And in 2024, my New Year's resolution is to have even more tabs open when we record. So something that I'm working on. We'll see how it pans out. But, I hope you all wish me the best with my endeavors.
Yes, that's a good resolution to have. But yeah, go to tabforacause.org/horse and you can turn that resolution into a charitable effort. So with that complete now, we can take a break for some other ads. And here's a fun thing we don't talk about as much. If you join the Patreon, you get ad-free episodes. So when we do this thing where we're big for ads, you don't hear anything. But this is the point where we'll put in some locally inserted ads. Some of them will be heard by us and others are not. Those are the ones that are locally inserted. They might be in your country's native language if you're not in America. So it might be a non-English ad. But once those ads are complete, we'll get back to the episode of Horse. All right, Adam, we are back. What's going on in the wonderful world of Mama Walla?
The wonderful world of Mama Walla as we wrap up another fun year. I don't think I have a lot of new stuff to report since our last episode, so this is going to come out on New Year's Day. If you are listening to it when it comes out, I will be in Montana for 4 shows, over the weekend of January 5th, 6th, and 7th. The shows are 2 at Last Best Comedy Club on Friday the 5th in Bozeman, and then I'll be in Helena and Townsend, I believe the towns are, the next 2 nights. Then I will be in Las Vegas for a week at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club between January 8th and the 14th. And then other than that, I'm still working on locking in other shows, so I'll just leave it there for now. And that's all I got. What about you?
Yeah, nothing new yet. I believe everything I said was announced. So I've got the Florida shows in February. I've got a Denver show, a Phoenix show, and then 2 North Carolina shows. I did learn from one of my friends who lives in North Carolina that the shows that I'm doing in Raleigh and Charlotte, let me make sure, because I did mess up the dates on them. In my brain, Raleigh, Durham, and Charlotte, all in my brain are like, yeah, those are North Carolina. Yeah, so Raleigh is March 9th and Charlotte is March 10th. Apparently, on one of those dates is the Duke versus North Carolina basketball game, which I could not care less about. Impossible for me to have any sort of horse in that race, though I do prefer Duke. I liked Duke when I was little because I liked JJ Redick and I thought he was cool. But it is funny. I feel like I am not losing any sleep over it. I also don't think that anyone in my listenership is going to be like, oh man, can't go to the game. I gotta, or the reverse, I can't go to the show.
I will say this, if we could have successfully pulled off that Philly show that I joined you at during, I think, Game 5 of the NLCS with the Phillies involved, and it was still something that didn't really impact the attendance, then I think you'll be fine with Duke UNC. But traffic could be a thing. I mean, that's maybe a consideration.
Yeah, we'll see. I did have one friend not show up to the show because they wanted to watch the game. It wasn't even in Philly. They just wanted to watch it on TV. I'm not joking. this has hindered our friendship. I don't like this person as much anymore.
Well, if they're listening, I guess you know what's
I don't
up.
think they are, but if they are, that was rude. That was rude. I was giving you a free ticket to the show. We were going to hang out after, and you wanted to watch a game that you could have like DVR'd. I thought that was very rude.
All right, well, shots fired.
Shots fired. But anyway, you can go and see those shows and not go to the Duke, North Carolina game if you go to Schub's, schub.es/tour. And now, with that complete, we can do an NB Q&A. What do we got this episode, Adam?
Yes, we received an email with a very spicy subject line. It says, NB Q&A, help needed with MenBA polyamory. So the message says, hey team, my name is Ryden. I use a they, them pronoun, and I've been a pretty big sports fan all my life, particularly basketball. I've always found more enjoyment in following multiple teams within a league, keeping up with 6 or so teams across the divisions in the NHL, and basically keeping up with the entire WNBA, with my hometown team being, wait for it, the beloved Seattle Storm. There you go.
Let's go.
That being said, I was born into Lakers fandom, parentheses, Psy, and grew up enjoying the late aughts to early 2010s runs in blissful young adolescent ignorance. We can all relate. I feel that way as a Bulls fan. Finally, I haven't kept up with the MenBA in recent years other than being a regular horse listener, and thank you for that. And I attribute that to only following one team and them not being particularly fun lately. So my question for you both is, which teams, preferably 2 or 3 per conference, would be the most fun for me to start following? I enjoy bad teams with great vibes. This year I have become a bandwagon Sharks fan in the NHL, and I'm having a blast. Foreign players with a sense of humor that the media often assumes is attitude problems. And my one requirement as someone who lives in Washington is to vehemently despise Oklahoma City. I hope y'all have fun with this prompt, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Thanks for your time, Ryden. Well, Ryden, thank you for the great email. And again, Ryden's requirements are, in no particular order, bad teams with great vibes, foreign players with great senses of humor, and not Oklahoma City. So what do you have for our pal Ryden?
I would say the perfect example of bad teams, good vibes right now, that would be the Portland Trailblazers. They are not great. They're 8-22 at the time of recording, but the vibes are good. They've got a bunch of young folks. Scoot Henderson wears goggles and has a cool name. The vibes are fantastic there. Only can go up and up. Portland is a fun town. The Blazers have cool uniforms and logo and everything. I think that is the perfect, of all the teams that are bad right now, they certainly have the best vibes. Every other team, maybe the Spurs as well, but I think best vibes are going to be with the Blazers. The Spurs, there's too much resting on Victor Wembanyama being transcendent, where if he's not great, that could hurt the vibes, where the expectations are so low for the Blazers right now, you're in a great position. So that would be my pick there. Then for European players with a sense of humor that is sometimes treated as a bad attitude, I would say the Denver Nuggets because of Nikola Jokic. And this will be nice because the Nuggets are incredible. They won the championship last year, so you can have a good team to root for. But Jokic is so funny just because he treats this profession that people want so badly, like a day job. There's a quote that just came out yesterday where Jokic says that his goal after he's done playing is to not have a phone, be around family, race horses, and be the driver/jockey, even though he is 7 feet tall. He says, quote, that is my secret goal, to be a driver, to have fun, travel the world, all of Europe, and race horses. That sounds fun. He's given multiple quotes about how he doesn't like doing extra basketball things besides his requirement. So I think he is great because some people are like, oh man, he doesn't care. But he clearly does care about the game. He just doesn't want to do any extra work.
Obviously, he wouldn't be that good if he didn't care. The funniest thing about that, though, is that so many people wish they were tall enough to be in the NBA, and he's in the NBA and a giant, and he wishes he were small enough to be a jockey.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I appreciate him as someone who previously, like when I was a salaried employee in my engineering days, I never did above and beyond what was needed of me. Like I put in the work at work, but then people are like, oh, do you want to like stay extra to work on this? Be like, no, you're not going to pay me extra. So I'm not going to do this. No way. And he doesn't get overtime pay for making the playoffs and stuff. Now, maybe his contract in the future.
I'm sure they get bonuses.
Those incentives.
Yeah.
So that could be a thing, but he didn't want to go to the parade.
I'm pretty sure that all players get a playoff share. So like the farther you get in the playoffs, you do make more money. It's not like you're playing an extra 2 months for free.
Okay.
And also like the money in sponsorships and stuff that comes with being the NBA champion also helps. But I don't think that he really cares about that. Like he's never going to not try when he's on the court. But yeah, it is very funny. Now, I'm going to throw one out there that you might not agree with, but it's based on a video that I saw recently. I do think Luka Doncic is kind of a punk. Like he does, his personality kind of annoys me. He's also an incredibly good player and arguably the MVP thus far, if we had to pick one. Also, great number 1 overall fantasy pick for me, aka you and me. Great job.
Yeah.
There was a clip of him recently. Somebody was complaining from the stands about the officiating, and he turned around from the bench and offered them a towel to dry their tears, which I was a big fan of.
It's really good. It's a shame that he complains about foul so much because the other stuff he does is really funny. There was another thing from this season when I think, again, it was the crowd was like booing about something and he did this thing where he was like mocking them, going like, oh, boo-hoo, like wiping his eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's very funny and he has funny trash talk too. But unfortunately, his ref complaining just makes it hard to like him. Like, if he just gets rid of that, he becomes infinitely likable, and maybe he will. So he did just give birth, and not him, his girlfriend or wife did.
That would have been a much bigger story.
Yeah, he had a child, and now he's had the classic thing that happens in the NBA, dad mode, where he somehow gets even better. He's started to wear a little headband thing, which is good. I like his little tiny European soccer headband that he's rocking now. And also, even though he's only 24, he's complaining about how tired he is all the time and how he's getting older and all this kind of stuff like that. So maybe if this maturation process is really accelerating, he will realize, I don't need to be complaining at the refs. I should just be saying sassy things to players and fans, as one should.
Didn't you recently do a 3-on-3 about players who recently, had children?
Dad
and then
powers,
went into
yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Fred VanVleet was the number 1.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out one more. Now, this is a bad team with bad vibes, but I do think that it would be particularly funny to become a Detroit Pistons fan now. Only because for the rest of your life, when people ask you why you became a Pistons fan, you can tell people, like, I chose them at their worst possible moment because I was like, nobody could ever accuse me of being a fair weather fan. You would be the opposite. You would be a bad weather fan. And we're going to talk more about the Pistons during Full Court Press and also during the main segment that we have for you today. But the Pistons, as of this recording, have lost, I want to say 28 in a row. They lost last night to the Celtics. They were up by 21 points and they still ended up losing in overtime. So it's getting pretty bad in Detroit. But
they had no win November. And they might have don't win December, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Their last win came against my Chicago Bulls when they won the third game of the season to go to 2-1, and they have not won since then. That was October, and it's pretty bad. But Ryden, we hope that answers your question, and thank you so much for being a loyal listener, and good luck to you in your quest to find several teams that are not the Thunder.
Yes. Okay, now let's get into Full Court Press. Get it like the news.
I do.
I think we want to go through these pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There are a lot of fun things that happened since we recorded. It's been a wild time. So we touched on the Draymond stuff. Similarly related to Draymond, did you see the Steve Kerr Suns DJ complaining thing?
I sure did. It was great.
So Steve Kerr, after a game, complained that the Suns play too loud music, but the way he said it was he said thumping techno music. And of course, I don't know what he thought was going to happen here, but of course, the Suns DJ remixed him saying thumping techno music and then remix it into that song. And man, it was so funny. And shout out to Steve Kerr. He was then, of course, interviewed about it. He was like, that's really funny. So he took it like a champ, but it's just funny that all of that took place. Well done, DJ. Well done, Steve Kerr, to not be grumpy about it. Very funny stuff. Now, one that was also funny but weird. Did you see and follow the whole Giannis game ball scandal with the Bucks and the Pacers?
No, I think I missed that.
So there's a game between the Bucks and the Pacers. Giannis scored, I believe, either 54 or 64 points.
Sheesh.
I think 64 points. And it was the franchise record. No one for the Bucks has ever scored that much in a game. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played for the Bucks. So that's a pretty significant milestone. Giannis wanted to get the game ball, But the Pacers had a guy on their team who scored his first NBA point in that game. So he wanted to get the game ball. When the game ended, I also agree with your grimacing face right now. 64 points, especially at a home game. This is a Bucks home game. So I feel like 64 points, breaking the franchise record at a home game, is more worthy of game ball than look at me, I scored 2 points, or however many that person scored in the game. The Pacers were trying to get the ball. The Bucks were trying to get the ball. When Giannis found out that the Pacers had the ball, he sprints into the tunnel where the Pacers are. They have to restrain him, but of course he's Giannis, so he just gets down there. And he screams at Tyrese Halliburton, who, I don't know if he was leading the charge for the ball or if he was just the first person you saw in the tunnel, but he screams at Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers, "Get the fucking ball!"
I mean, listen, I would be remiss if I didn't make our first baseball reference of the episode here. Mm-hmm. It is a common thing in baseball when somebody gets their first major league hit that everybody, the dugout and his teammates call for the ball. I'm like, hey, that was his first hit, throw it over here. But there are a million baseballs used in a baseball game. So it would be easy for someone else who did something significant in that game to get a different ball from that game. In the NBA, maybe they use more than one ball, but generally they use the same ball the whole game because they test it out, and for, fairness and whatnot, they use that one ball. And with all due respect to this guy in the Pacers, yes, in an ordinary game, I think that would be a perfectly reasonable thing to ask for. But it's not like Giannis had a 25-point game and was just like, I kind of feel like having the ball. Like, he did something historical.
Yeah, for sure. And also, then there was a thing after where Giannis got a ball, but he thought it wasn't the right ball. He thought it felt weird. But then there was a clip afterwards, immediately after the game, that showed someone from the Bucks staff right after the game ended grabbing a ball that appeared to be the game ball. So, how did the Pacers get the ball? Or did the Pacers have the wrong ball? And was Giannis yelling? It was this whole thing. But my favorite element of it is a couple of days later, my beloved New York Knickerbockers won a game where Jalen Brunson scored 50 points. And that was very cool. And this happened at MSG. Julius Randle wanted to ensure that Jalen Brunson got that game ball. And he runs over to Ryan Arcidiacono, the bench player in the Knicks who had the ball, grabs it from him, and then holds it above his head at full extension with his arms until he can find Jalen Brunson to make sure that no one else gets the ball. And it was a great trolling. And then thankfully, when the Knicks played the Bucks on Christmas, we beat them. And it wasn't used as fuel for, oh man, now we have to destroy the Knicks. So it all worked out. I mean,
Giannis, not generally someone I think of as being super dramatic, but last year there was the ladder drama. Now we've got the ball drama. I mean, what does 2024 have in store for Giannis?
I don't know. I like that he is so nice, but there are certain things that just set him off. He's a man of principle. And I appreciate this as someone who, I think in general, I would like to think of myself as not getting too angry at lots of things, but I will get angry at very specific things. Sure. So I appreciate this, that Giannis is overall a nice guy, but also bring me the fucking ball. It's mine.
Right. And who was the player on the Pacers who scored? Do you even know?
I literally don't know. Let's find out. Pacers, Bucks,
but what I was going to say
ball.
was I'm sure that he wants the ball, but there are also other things from the game that you can have. You can frame your jersey from that game. I'm sure the Pacers wouldn't mind if he did that. There are other kind of keepsakes that he could have from it that don't mean that he needs the one ball that exists for that game.
So I've looked it up. This player from the Pacers, his name is Oscar Tshiebwe, I believe. His last name, yes, Oscar Tshiebwe. And on the season, he has played in 3 games. And he has an average of 3.7 points, 1.7 rebounds, and 0.7 assists. So
sick.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to him.
So I shouldn't pick him up for the fantasy team?
I don't think so. Maybe not yet. I would not recommend it. But
sure,
he's doing all right. I'm going to pull up the particular game log to make sure we can see what the stats were. So he didn't score any points in his first game. No, wait, just kidding. Hold on. Oh, here's fun. Here's a fun thing. In this game, so the first game that he actually played minutes in was this Bucks game. He played 5 minutes, and the point that he scored was from a singular free throw. He had 1
Sick.
point in the entire game. His final stats were 1 point, 1 rebound, 1 foul. He did have a plus minus of +4 though, which is pretty cool. But the Bucks won that game by 14 points. So it was like a blowout loss and he got to make a free throw. I don't think you get to make the game ball if you didn't even make a shot. Like, it is called a free throw. You didn't make a shot. You missed one shot and then you made one free throw and you missed one free throw. I don't think you get the game ball for that. Now, the next game, he made a bucket. And this was at Washington. I don't think that the Wizards had anything to take the game ball for. So I'm sure he got that one. And that is better. Those are your first NBA points. And now you can say, like, this is my first field goal, as opposed to I made one free throw in one game.
Well, actually, Jordan Poole wanted the ball so he could take a terrible shot, but...
yeah. Just let me get it up. Let me get it up. Yeah. Oh, man. Wow. Fun stuff. Okay. Another thing, though, that I did want to touch on. Did you see you saw all the Ja Morant stuff? Where he had to explain inbound passing. So Ja Morant, in his wonderful season of last year where just everything was not going right for him, he now, during his break before he came back, had to go to trial because he didn't settle this case. Had to go to trial with this 17-year-old kid that he physically assaulted by punching in the face and stuff. And his defense, in quotes, is that the kid checked the ball too hard to him when they were playing pickup basketball, like threw the ball too hard. And his whole defense hinged on he was using the basketball as a weapon. What this led to was Ja Morant's attorney having to explain how someone could check the ball too hard. So there's all these videos out, and we'll put links to them. There's all these videos. Like, I don't know how these get public. That feels illegal. Maybe it's one of those things where like it's like the stenographer, like you have to show video thing for something that's like video evidence. I have no idea how it all works. But whatever it is, this just makes it super crystal clear that Ja Morant should have just paid this guy money so that this wouldn't happen. Because this is just an ultimately bad look. Ja Morant makes tens of millions of dollars every single year just from his contract alone. You got to just throw this dude a couple $100,000, sign the NDA, get out of here, and not have this where you've clips of Ja Morant explaining how to inbound a ball but not be mean about it. And then the other person's attorney making Ja Morant look silly by saying, you're classifying the basketball as a weapon? So yeah, tough look for Ja.
Yeah, and Ja also, I saw a clip of him the other day. He caught an alley-oop and dunked it. It was a nice dunk. And then afterwards he did a celebration that maybe I'm misinterpreting it, but it certainly looked like a gun-firing celebration. So maybe don't, is what I would say.
He fired guns and then pulled out a bazooka to really make it clear what he was trying to do. It's just...
Well, I'm glad he's learned his lesson.
Man, come on. Like, just... Come on, man. Do anything else.
At least don't make it so easy for everyone to criticize you. Like, just try to think a little bit.
Come up with a fun, cool other celebration. Final thing, full court press. I went to a Spurs game when I was in San Antonio. Got to see Wembanyama. It was cool. The Spurs only lost by 40 points. I think technically 37 points, so they didn't lose by 40, which is a win. But Wemby was fun, and it was also Tony Parker Hall of Fame night. So I got a free t-shirt that I immediately donated to charity because it's an extra large Tony Parker shirt that I'm never going to wear. But it was cool. It was the thing where basically like they already had retired his jersey. But because he made it into the Hall of Fame this offseason, they, at the Spurs Arena, add Hall of Fame onto the jersey for any player that also made the Hall of Fame. So they were unveiling that. So it wasn't like the full-fledged big old retirement thing, but during halftime...
He was there, though, right?
He was there. We all got free shirts. And then during halftime, they kind of played a little tribute video thing that was basically made up of like a highlight reel of his speech at the Basketball Hall of Fame. And then he came out and just said a very short little thank you and then stood in center court for a long time because people are trying to take pictures of it. The whole time his face was like, can I leave now? Am I supposed to leave now? Where do I go? And and I just thought it was so funny. It felt like such a relatable, like I'm doing a thing, like I'm in some sort of event and people have not given me enough instruction. I'm sure you've had this too with all of the different, like hosting things or when you do stand-up or corporate events where it's like, all right, they haven't told me exactly where to go or when to leave.
Right.
When do I go? Where do I leave? And I could just see that so clearly on his face, and it was fantastic.
That's funny. Did you have good seats? Like, were you sitting in the lower level or up top?
We were in the upper level. Shout out to my buddy Stephen Parra. His family we all sat together, and they got me tickets, which I did offer to pay for. So, Para family, I will still reimburse you for the tickets. But we were in the upper level, but not like all the way back. We were like pretty close to the front. So, pretty solid. And as far as like the Spurs arena, it's not like a super vertical one. So, the upper deck was still pretty solid. So,
I was asking only because if you were in the lower level, it would have been cool to like walk as close to the court as you could and just like try to get a sense of how gigantic Wembanyama is.
Yeah, thankfully, knowing that the rim is 10 feet tall and I can see him dunk and like not have to jump, that helped with the perspective. But yeah, he's just mind-bogglingly long.
He is, and I'll have to share a video. I don't know if you saw this. There was a video floating around of him stretching, like going through some of his stretching routines. He is so incredibly limber and flexible, and hopefully that will keep him healthy. Whoever he has as his trainer or whatever, like they are doing a very good job. And there was an incident recently where like he turned his ankle really badly and then just popped up immediately, and everyone was tweeting like, "Oh, to be 18 again."
Yeah, as apparently his flexibility is something that he works really hard on. So I think that's good for him. You know, you got to do it. And he's a big limber boy. We all should stretch more. 2024. Let's all stretch more.
Facts.
Speaking of resolutions, though, shall we get into the special fun idea that you came up with for this episode?
Yes. Very, very good transition. Shall I explain it?
Yes, please do.
So we are recording this on December 29th, right before the new year. You will be listening to this, and Happy New Year to you, wherever you may be. I thought it would be fun to go down alphabetically and talk about each NBA team and come up with one New Year's resolution for each of those teams. So we're going to do that. Some will be more obvious than others. Like for the Pistons, win a game. That I think would be a good resolution. We'll get there in a bit. But I think some are going to be pretty spicy. Some of these might be funny. Some of these might be serious. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Mike, what is your resolution? What do you think the Hawks should try to do differently in 2024?
They should try to win one game more than 41 games to put them over 50-50. There is a stat I saw yesterday that in the past 1,200 basketball games that the Atlanta Hawks have played, they are 600 and 600. They are, as the kids say, mid. Like they are the most mid team possible. Statistically, I don't think you can get more mid. They are 600 and 600 in the past 1,200 games. So I would say go 43 and 4, or go what could it go 42
43
and
41. Yeah, or 42 and 40.
Go 42 and 40 on the season. Go 42 and 40. That's my resolution for them.
I'm with it. I think that's a good one. Let's move on to the Boston Celtics. This one, I mean, they got so close a couple of years ago when they got to the finals. I guess the resolution would be keep the two J's healthy for the playoffs. I think that's really what they're going to need, because right now they certainly look like the class of the East, or at least one of the teams that will be in the final running. And of course, last year in that series where they were down 0-3 to the Heat, they came all the way back. Then they lost in Game 7 at home. A big part of that was that their star player, Jason Tatum, got injured early in that game and wasn't able to play for most of it. So that would be my resolution. But do you have anything more spicy or interesting?
Stop calling TD Garden the Garden, because it's not the Garden. It is the TD Garden. Like, come on.
I am as annoyed by that as I was when I went to TCNJ, the College of New Jersey, and people from South Jersey would refer to Philadelphia as the city. I'm like, it's not.
No,
let's not.
It's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. So yeah, it's not the Garden. Yeah. Stop calling it the Garden, Bill Simmons. Okay, Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets.
Bring back the BrooklyKnight. That is my. No, I'm kidding. My resolution. They're already on their way to doing it this year. Coming into this year, when we did the drama draft, they had historically been one of the top teams, if not the top team, and they were towards the bottom of the list this year because they have gotten rid of some of the most dramatic players, including Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say a full 2024 that is drama-free would be a good resolution.
Yeah, I think that's good. Mine will be a little more personal. I will say make your concession prices cheaper than MSG. The fact that food and beer costs more at the Barclays Center than in Madison Square Garden is bizarre, and it's also the most Brooklyn thing possible, where it is objectively worse and somehow more expensive. Brooklyn. So that would be my resolution.
At least the tickets are cheaper, because I was looking into, I told you one of my resolutions for this coming year that hopefully I'll achieve. I've never seen Steph Curry play in person. and Steph plays both the Nets and the Knicks in New York in February. Right now, you can actually get a ticket for the Nets Warriors game for like $120, $130 in the nosebleeds, which sucks at Barclays, but you can still get it. The Knicks, you can't even get in the building for less than like $250. So that is pretty wild there.
I'm going to have to investigate that with the Lakers because my resolution for this season was to see LeBron because I still have never seen LeBron live because it's always so much more expensive.
Right.
But yeah, I think for MSG, it's pretty expensive. I was even looking and I was upset at how not cheap it was. I was like, I bet it might be cheaper to take an Amtrak train down and then go to a Wizards Lakers game and take the Amtrak back. But it was like still kind of expensive. I was like, you're the Wizards. Come on. You're the Wizards. So I'll have to see. But yeah, maybe I will go to Barclays just to save the money, or if it's not that much more expensive, I'll get to watch my favorite basketball team play, LeBron James.
All right, next up, we have the Charlotte Hornets, and if I may take this one, I'm going to back far away from the microphone, and I'm going to say something. We're going to insert the clip, but this is a deep cut. For anyone who remembers the movie Liar, Liar, there's a scene where he picks up the phone and says, "Stop breaking the law, asshole! Stop breaking the law, asshole!" So that's my resolution for the Hornets.
Yeah, that's easy. I think it's a pretty good one. Or at the very least, stop having people stay on your... Like, just get rid of Miles Bridges. Get rid. Yeah. There was a report that was like, the Detroit Pistons are interested in Miles Bridges. Do it. Get him out of there.
Great.
Like, and then, the Pistons shouldn't have him on the team. No one should have him on the team. No one should have him. Get him out of here. Mm-hmm. Send him away. No NBA for you. Okay, next one. How do you feel about this one? Your Chicago Bulls.
Well, I do feel that I should field this one. It's only fair. Now, the interesting thing with the Bulls is that they have been playing a lot better of late. Not so much that I'm deluding myself into thinking that they're going to be competitive in the playoffs or even get there. But Kobe White has really come into his own in Zach LaVine's absence. I guess my main resolution for them is trade Zach LaVine. Like the writing has been on the wall for a while. Yeah. Arguably, they should have blown it up last year or maybe even sooner than that. But I actually think that if they trade Zach LaVine and they get NBA-ready talent that can contribute now rather than draft picks, they're playing well enough without LaVine that I think they could be in that play-in range or like a lower tier playoff team. And I know that you're going to laugh at me, and that's probably fair. But they've certainly been a lot more enjoyable to watch. So I guess my main resolution is don't do nothing like you did last year at the trade deadline.
Yeah. Now, I hope this isn't too sore of a subject. Have you reacquired Kobe White onto your fantasy team, or is he on another team?
No. And James has him, of course.
Of course.
It's killing me. However, my team is great. Our team. I'll say our team because you and I drafted them.
Thank you.
I'm currently in second place out of 10 teams, and I think I'm up like 11-1 in this week's matchup. So Luka Doncic has been a godsend for me, and I love him very much.
And a lot of your other picks have really panned out too. Bam's having a great season. Brandon Ingram's doing well.
I also picked up Jaquez.
Oh, that was clutch.
Incredible.
That's clutch. Well
done. I am not dropping
done.
him. He has been a star.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next team, New Year's resolution, Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know. It's like they should be fun. They should be more fun. I think be more fun. The vibes around that team should not be as bad.
Right. I think a practical one would be like get out of the first round of the playoffs, which I'm sure you were happy last year that they did not, as they fell
so happy about it.
Beloved New York Knickerbockers in 5 games. But yeah, I think like get farther than you did last year. But I agree. They have fun pieces, but like I have no interest in watching a Cavs game. And I'm not sure why I feel that way, but they just don't interest me really.
Yeah, I think the problem is looming over them is that Donovan Mitchell, I don't think he wants to continue to be there. So it's hard to like get super excited about a guy who like clearly doesn't want to live there. So maybe the resolution should be convince him that Cleveland is fun. Show him around town and maybe he'll want to stay. But it seems like he doesn't want to. But, wine and dine him. Yeah. Show him around. Mm-hmm. All right, Mavs, Dallas Mavericks. I would say tell Luka Doncic to stop yelling at referees. What would be your resolution?
I mean, it's a little bit of a bummer that Cuban is selling the team, Mark Cuban. I don't think that's really resolution related, but I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see, like how their new ownership approaches things, because I do like the fact that Cuban was a guy who was willing to spend the money needed to make the team better.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that the people he sold it to suck. Like, I'm pretty sure they're shitty.
Yeah.
He sold it to Miriam Adelson and Sivian and Patrick Dumont.
Ooh, they sound rich.
They own and operate the Las Vegas Sands LVS plus 1.1% corporation. I don't even know what that means, but it can't be good. It's impossible. It's impossible to be good. What does the Adelson family own? Las Vegas Sands? What is Las Vegas Sands? It seems like real estate. Like that sounds like a Las Vegas Sands is a casino. Okay, so they're casino owners.
There's a Sands casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Weirdly.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? There's not enough gambling in basketball right now.
No, not nearly enough.
It's so bad. Like it's so egregious, and I think it's fine to have sports gambling exist. I think that's fine. I do think it should be illegal to talk about it on broadcasts, though, because when ESPN is like, oh, here's the ins and outs and here's the stats, blah, blah, blah. And then some other person is like, and the over-under is plus 150. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. We're supposed to be believing you about how much you know about basketball. And then now we're going to like use that advice for it's gross. I hate it. It sucks. And what really sucks, I was watching the NBA Christmas games and on ESPN, they have that little ticker thing at the bottom. And the ticker thing at the bottom now shows like the over-under for some of the games. That is hideous. Absolutely hideous.
I will share a funny betting-related story, though, which is that I was also watching some of the Christmas games. Celia and I had gone out for an early Lupper, and then we were at a bar, and they had like the Lakers-Celtics game on one TV, the Philadelphia Eagles-New York Giants game on another TV, but then on the middle TV, they had this thing on like ESPN 8 that was it was like a dog competition.
So what that means is, because I was doing this, I watched the Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi cast of the Knicks Bucks game, which was amazing. It's like the Mania cast, but with the two of them, they had a bunch of guests on. They had like Jason Sudeikis and Leslie Jones and a bunch of really fun people. It was incredible. Super fun. I always love when they do the Bird and Taurasi show. But that was on ESPN2, I think. And when that one ended, they started playing, and it wasn't the Westminster Dog Show. It was like something dog athletic agility challenge.
Yeah, it was like dogs like running off a thing and then like doing like a long jump basically, and they would have to grab something from the air. But the reason I bring it up is that slowly everybody in the bar started paying much more attention to the dogs doing these things than because also like I feel like dog racing and stuff like that. It's the same as horse racing where I'm like, I feel bad for the animals involved. But in this case, the dogs looked like they were having the time of their lives. They were having so much fun. And then I made a really bad joke where I told Celia, I was like, well, I really want to watch this because I've got a lot of money on this one particular dog. And she was like, all right, what's the joke? Like she already could sniff it out, another dog joke. And I was like, well, I put $100 bet on FanDrool.
Pretty good.
All right, let's move on. Oh, speaking of dogs, terrible transition. Hopefully Aaron Gordon is okay. I'm sure you heard about that. Really, really awful thing.
Yeah, got bit up by a dog. I mean, look, I don't know.
Scary.
It sucks. I knew someone who got bit by a pit bull in the face and had to get stitches.
Eesh.
Like, not what you want. And this is just furthering my not being a pet person. Is just, that sounds bad. It sounds bad. So
well, my cats or Celia's cats would never do that to you. Rest assured.
Good. That's good to know. But yeah, Denver Nuggets, I think just like keep the vibes alive. I would say,
convince Jokic not to pull a Jordan and retire in the prime of his career to go do something else.
Here would actually be my thing. Reintroduce and increase the usage of the old Rainbow Nuggets jerseys. I feel like they used that in the past. They wore them. They had jerseys that were inspired by them. They're kind of straying farther and farther from the light. They have ones that are like barely rainbow now, and we need to re-up the rainbow. Embrace the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. Do not shy away from the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow. Detroit Pistons win a game. Win a game?
Win a game. Yep.
Win a game. Great. Cool. All right. Pistons win a game. Golden State Warriors would be next. The Golden State Warriors. Don't fight
Draymond. Maybe Draymond should be the one with the resolution. Maybe stop hitting.
Don't hit people. Hit your shots. Houston Rockets, I would say, embrace Sengun. Just go all in on Sengun. In every facet, not just basketball-wise, but also off-court-wise. He did a very good interview on Podcast P, Paul George's podcast. He's very funny. He's very personable. I would say just fully go all in on Sengun. I know there's other players on the team, and they're fine, but I think you got to go all in on Sengun, especially when Dylan Brooks is on your basketball team. So I think you got to just fully Sengun mania. Sell like, they used to do like James Harden beard nights. Let's do like curly brown hair nights, like curly brown wigs for Sengun because he's got that floppy curly hair. All in on Sengun. Turkish Heritage Night, like all the stuff. Let's go all in. All Sengun.
I'm into it. Let's move on to the Indiana
Spell
Pacers.
rockets with those like letters that have the circles and the lines over them, like all in.
Yes, for sure. All right. The Indiana Pacers. I just watched them last night. Unfortunately, vanquished my Chicago Bulls as Tyrese Halliburton went absolutely beast mode on them. Do I have a resolution for the Pacers? I don't know that I do. Do you have anything?
I would say, besides let the Knicks hit Control Z and draft Tyrese Halliburton instead of Obi Toppin. Instead, a save for that, I would say that the Pacers, I mean, like from a basketball perspective, they should try this cool thing called defense because they don't do it, and it is half the game.
No,
but as far as them, I mean, they're in a pretty good. No, here's what we need to do. Something cool that's getting more and more notoriety is Miles Turner's love of Legos. For a while, it's been public that he's a big Lego guy, and he does the huge, like, 1,000-piece, like he's done the Death Star and the Titanic and all the other ones that are like tons and tons and tons of pieces. I feel like they need to lean in to that and do some fun, like Lego X Miles Turner content. They like work with Lego to make him a custom set that like makes the Pacers logo, or they make like Miles Turner Legos, something, bring together Legos and Miles Turner into the Pacers fold. Make it about basketball.
I'm going to do you one better because we've got another resolution coming up. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here. I'm going to also give the Grizzlies a resolution, which is that Miles Turner needs to teach Ja Morant about different hobbies.
Yeah, I like it. I like that. They should do Legos together. Legos are really fun. And if they weren't
no one gets killed by Legos.
No, except
maybe someone chokes occasionally. But
if you step on them, that does feel like you want to die. Yeah. But if Legos weren't so damn expensive, I would buy them all the time. Completing Legos is delightful, and I am currently just not purchasing them now, so that later in my future life, when I am a father, then I can be like, time to shine, baby, and I'm going to buy a bunch of Legos, and that'll be fun. But they are pricey. They are pricey, especially if you get those cool like adult Legos, because they're like, oh, adults are buying these.
So I don't know if you saw this, but somebody actually took, I assume, an inordinate amount of time to make a Lego recreation of Draymond Green smacking Yusuf Nurkic, and almost like in the style of like a claymation Rudolph sort of thing, and it's amazing, and I will definitely share the link.
It's really fun. It's really fun. Okay, next team would be the Los Angeles Clippers. Stay healthy. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah, and honestly, we clowned them a lot after they got Harden and lost a bunch of games, and then they've been really good since then. So is it actually going to work? Who can say? But stay healthy.
The Los Angeles Lakers now. Find a new sponsor for the Crypto.com arena?
I like it. I'm into that. Good, because otherwise they've been pretty fun. And also stay healthy, Anthony Davis, obviously.
Yes. Grizzlies, we have tackled Miami Heat. Stop using a quote that Pat Riley said about the New York Knicks on your Heat culture quote about being the best, most conditioned, hardest working, best dressed, we eat all our vegetables team. That is a quote Pat Riley said about the Knicks, and then he did say about the Heat later, but he said it about the Knicks first. So maybe get your facts in order, something like that.
I would agree. And also, much like the Lakers, don't change your name back to the FTX Arena, but I don't think you have to worry about that too much.
No, I think they've already had to do a new one because it wasn't like crypto where they're just going to like go out of business or whatever, but like FTX like got sued out of business. I think.
Yes. Yeah.
The Milwaukee Bucks, figure out the ball, like get the balls in order.
Get the balls in order. Now that's an episode title.
In order.
If I've ever heard one.
Minnesota Timberwolves. I would say first thing is just like keep the good vibes going. Second, make sure Anthony Edwards keeps his comments in check. Because
I think that's
he had the thing in seasons past where he made some homophobic slurs on social media. Recently, someone posted a bunch of screenshots about how he pressured a girl into getting an abortion and was not chill about it at all.
Yeah.
Like, just, whatever, like the way he handled it, not ideal. So just maybe say, hello, Mr. Anthony Edwards. Our team is really good. You're the best player on the team. Let's figure this out. And just try to, because he's fun. He's good at basketball. The team is fun now. They have cool uniforms. The vibes are great. They're now making good for everyone clowning them for the Rudy Gobert trade. And I just don't want to see, like, it sucks to see a team derailed by off-court things. Look at the Grizzlies. Like, the team was good. The vibes were good. Everything was good. And then big yikes. So, like, I don't want to see that happen to the Timberwolves.
I am with you. Let's move on to the Nolan's Pelicans. And I mean, health always a thing when Zion is involved. What would you say for them?
Embrace Mardi Gras. Just like we're saying that we and they've done it in the past, but like officially changed the colors. None of this navy, red, bronze crap. It fully go purple, green, and gold. You cowards. Do it. Yeah. Do it. And Spurs, you know what I'm going to say when we get to you. Embrace Mardi Gras.
You're right. I'll let you handle the Knicks. What do you have?
I mean, there's so many things I could say. There's so many things. I would say, I'm going to say just keep everyone happy. It's hard. I think the trickiest thing for the Knicks right now is that we're in one of those situations where, like, you have a lot of guys who are good. It's like the problem, like a spoils of riches kind of thing. Like, we have too many guys that would be like the fifth best player on a team. And it's hard when you're figuring out who starts, who comes off the bench, who gets more minutes off the bench. Like, it's a tricky thing where, like, a consolidation trade would be very good for us, but we can't just like do that willy-nilly. Right. There needs to be the right player. So I would say just kind of like have a lot of communication. Try to keep everyone happy. It seems like all the players get along with each other and there's none of the beef stuff where, like, no one seems to be mad at the person who's getting more minutes than them. People are just becoming frustrated about, like, general, whether it's lack of minutes or lack of touches. So I think just like make sure everyone stays happy and just, talk to everyone. That would be my thing.
I like it. But I'm happy for you. I mean, I feel like Jalen Brunson has been one of the best signings in a long time for the Knicks. So good for you.
It's funny that somehow he's gotten better. He's shooting 47% from three.
Yeah. In the game that you mentioned before where he scored 50, he did not miss a three-pointer.
He's absurd. Like, he just keeps getting better, and I love it because everyone's like, he's too short. He's not going to be able to do it. And like, like this fun Jalen Brunson story, he'll eventually regress. He's not doing it. He's just good. And he does his fun smell my hands celebration after, which I'm fully convinced is sexual, because when they asked him about it last season, what does it mean? He said, don't worry about it. And look,
fair enough.
Smelling something, 3 fingers, all signs are pointing to it being dirty, but go for it, Jalen Brunson.
Sure. All right, let's move on to the OKC Thunder.
Make a new logo. You've had one logo. They don't even have a secondary logo.
Their logo
they have one logo, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, do anything. Do what the Spurs did, where they finally made a second logo this year, which is just the outline of the state of Texas with a spur that points to San Antonio. Do something. Like, you got the outline of the state of Oklahoma on your shorts waistband of your City Edition jerseys this year. Like, do anything. Do anything.
And I'm going to keep it in that vein and say for the Orlando Magic, wear your throwback jerseys more. The pinstripes are the best.
Just go all in. They're clean. One of the best jerseys of all time. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. But for the Magic, I would say just like, just keep going, baby. This is fun. Best story of the year. Keep it up. Keep being fun. Philadelphia 76ers. I mean,
keep trusting the process.
Keep trusting the process. I think, what do we want to say about this? I mean, just do it in the playoffs. We do it. Come on. Like, here's the thing. I am very biased. I do not like any Boston sports team. If my real goal for them, face and defeat the Boston Celtics in the playoffs this year. Like, obviously you can't control if you play them. But if you find yourself playing the Boston Celtics, defeat them. conquer them. Because you know how you get everyone to shut up about Joel Embiid not having the best playoff performance? Beat this year's Boston Celtics, where everyone is just like, oh, they're the best. They're the best. Like, look at LeBron with the Cavaliers. They lost to the Warriors 3 times, but they beat them that one time. And I think everyone's general perspective is that it was like equal accomplishments, was 1 versus 3.
Right.
So I feel like if you just defeat this year's consensus overall, everyone thinks it's like them and the Nuggets. If you beat this year's Celtics, you're going to silence everyone. So do it.
Could you imagine the 76ers Clippers final with Harden against the Sixers?
The drama,
the spice.
Oh my God. It would be so good. It would be so good. Who would fumble the bag more, Embiid or Harden, the 2 big playoff jokers?
And speaking of bag fumbling, for the Phoenix Suns, just be as good as you should be. That would be a good thing to do.
Yeah, this one's like more specifically for Kevin Durant, but I think like Kevin just recognize that your actions have consequences, because he's doing the thing now where it's like sources are saying Kevin Durant is frustrated in Phoenix. Like, you did this, Kevin. You made them trade for you, which reduces the depth. So when Bradley Beal gets hurt and Devin Booker gets hurt, like that's what happens when you are the trade person. People have to be traded for you. There are fewer good players on the team. This happens.
And we said that at the time when that happened. The Nets got a lot of good pieces there in trading for Kevin Durant. And, you know, theoretically, you say, oh, well, if they have KD and they have Bradley Beal and they have Devin Booker and they have Chris Paul, like, how could they not be great? It's like, because you need more than 4 really good players on the team. And they need to gel.
Yes. Portland Trailblazers, Scoot Henderson Goggle Night. Give everyone free goggles. Brought to you by Rec Specs. Come on. Do it. Sacramento Kings, the Beam.
Get the sponsorship from Jim Beam.
But also make the Beam bigger. I want the Beam, like, it's like a couple lights in the center of the arena. I want the Beam to be made up of lights that circumvent the entire Golden One Center. Like, I want the Beam, I want the FAA to get mad at the Beam. Like, I want government regulation against the Beam. The Beam should be so bright that the federal government gets involved and say, like, this is a risk to aircrafts.
Yeah. Or that it lures aliens down to Earth.
Oh, yes. Make either 2 options, make it brighter, or make it a real beam that brings in things from space.
Beam me up Scooty, even though he's on the Trailblazers.
All right, San Antonio Spurs. Fiesta. The Fiesta. Get rid of You've had the black and the gray for too long. Your team sucks. They are so bad. If the Pistons were in 2-29, we'd be talking about how you were 4-31 or whatever you are. Go Fiesta. Now is the time.
And also, Jeremy Sochan, Wig Night.
Yes. Yeah, I like it. Sochan with the Fiesta hair to announce the Fiesta. Wake me up from the siesta of black and gray and bring me Fiesta.
From siesta to Fiesta.
From siesta
the San Antonio Spurs story.
To Fiesta. Yes. Gosh, come on. Toronto Raptors. Much like the Bulls. Trade people. You're not good. You're not good. It's not going to happen. Just trade people. And also get some good representation, because the Knicks are not dropping this lawsuit against you.
It's not going to happen.
It has gotten silly.
Lawyer up,
James Dolan,
suckers.
James Dolan is not dropping this. So get ready, baby. See you in court. Utah Jazz.
Change your name to the Utah Indie Rock.
Okay. All right. It's fun. I think here's what's interesting. Utah is the Beehive State. They went to black and yellow jerseys this year, which are not good.
Black and yellow. Sorry.
They could become the Utah Bees or something.
Sure.
Maybe the Hornets would get mad though.
Well, I mean, that it would certainly sting, but let's move on to the final, the Washington Wizards, another stellar NBA organization. You know what?
Yeah,
My resolution is going to be keep having fun even though you suck. Some people have been clowning on the Wizards for like doing dunks off the backboard when they're down by 20 points. We've said this before and we'll say it again.
Yeah.
It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be entertaining. People are there. Anyway, entertain the people.
Be the true version of when people come to your comedic thing and they didn't enjoy it and they say you looked like you were having fun up there, but really make it look like you're having fun out there, because what else is there to do this season? Have fun.
I hope people don't think that after my shows
on the team. I mean, look,
like we didn't enjoy that, but he looked like he was having fun.
I mean, I don't. That's always, maybe it's just an improv thing. That is the classic, like, you look like you were having fun up there. I've never heard that because I'm not so bad, funny. But I've heard people say it to other people.
That's tough.
It's a tough one. It is a tough compliment in quotation marks. But that is the 2024 horse resolutions. This was fun. Great idea, Adam. I think we should do this every year. It's very fun.
Thank you. Let's wrap it up, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening to this episode of Horse Horses, hosted by Adam Amawala and Mike Schubert. Our editors, Kensei Saramaki. The music is by Bettina Kamamanas. The website is by Kelly Schubert. The art is by Alison Wickman. And the social media is by both of the Horse Boys.
Thank you to our producer-level patrons, Polly Burge, Kendra Hadley, Salvatore Testa, Siobhan Ellsbury, Don't Go Chasing Taco Falls, Bang, Bang, Roast Beef Debris, How About Them, World Champion Denver Steam Nuggets, Anna Reed, Steph Curry for 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year!
Get out of Times Square. Don't do it. It's not
terrible.
Fun.
Yeah.
People have to wear adult diapers.
Yeah. Hi, Trish, Nicole Shepard, Chase Underrulo, Mr. Bubbles Plays Ball, Naked Rachel, Josh Isn't Rich, Sidney Crosby is a Vampire, Chelsea's Cousin, Ginger Spurs Boy, and Balls to the Walls. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Horse Hoops and on Twitter at Horse_Hoops because
Horse Hoops was the person from the Bucks staff that took the basketball, and then it was unclear about what they did with the basketball. Too shady.
Very, very shady. Go to our website, horsehoops.com, for links to some of the fun stuff we talked about today, including a Lego recreation of Draymond Green smacking Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, and if you want to support the Horse Boys and get cool rewards in exchange for doing so, you can go to patreon.com/horsehoops. We've got cash considerations, jerseys, horse stickers. We've got digital things, all sorts of fun stuff. We also have horsehoops.com/merch, which has Sup Nerds shirts and other digital goodies as well. We're going to close this episode out by saying something on the count of 3. Should we go with the resolution theme and say, like, good luck 2024? Wishing everyone a good luck on whether they have resolutions or they just hope 2024 is a good year for once.
How about, let's go with this. Here's to 2024.
All right. Here's to 2024 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Here's to 2024. May it be less bad than the previous run of years.
Well said. God bless us.
The bar is low.
Everyone.
Every single one.